So the Neo Saban era has finally ended, and thank God it's over. So after 8 years of frustrations of the Neo Saban era, it has come to a conclusion that the Neo Saban era is finally over and done with. I, for one, have been waiting for this to end for a very, very long time because, one, the lack of creativity when it comes to the writing and the actors messing up their lines a couple times. But when you look at it that way, it's not really their fault. It's basically how Hollywood has been nowadays when it comes to them telling the actors how to say it, what needs to be said. And you're basically telling them to talk down to the kids, giving them corny lines that they need to be said in the kids' television show. And it's really starting to annoy me because I'm not the only one that's felt about this. But everybody that grew up with the Neo Saban era, no. Let me correct myself. Everybody who watches the, Samurai through Ninja Steel should know how bad the storylines are, and the acting is something about the Neo Saban era is definitely not worth watching. And I mean, I just feel like every time I, watch the shows, I just want to vomit in my mouth because I just couldn't believe how bad the story is because of these writers. So let's start with the season that was not good from the start. Samurai and Super Samurai. Why I picked this from the start is because it's the way that the story went. It's a basically copy-paste of the Super Sentai. Samurai Sentai Shikinger. I never understood Samurai because of the acting. I was happy when Saban brought it back around 2010, but when Samurai came out, it was nothing but a Mike-focused episode. It was just a third episode, and I was really, really turned off about it because I was embarrassed. I mean, looking back at it now, they could have done a better job. I don't care if Mike and Emily are the best characters in the show. The season is still trash. Everything about it was not good. The writing was the worst part. I'm sorry, but there's nothing about this series. It's never gonna get any better. And plus, the puns was the most annoying thing in the Neo Saban era. Just talking during fight scenes, you just cannot do that. That's the number one gripe I have with every PR season in the Neo Saban era. And that right there is just the nail in the coffin for me. For the last 8 freaking years of frustration, torture, embarrassment, bad PR television, thanks to Nickelodeon, the worst network on earth. And Super Samurai was probably the worst because of the acting. And like I said, the season was nothing but a Sentai counterpart, copy-paste. Nothing about the series was original at all. And my God, this season just sucked. It was kind of dark, but it sucked really bad. Now on to the joke of the season that was supposed to be representing the Power Rangers from the last 20 years. And that was Megaforce. This show stinks. It stunk from the beginning to end. Troy is the worst actor. He's the worst character on the show. Nothing about him screamed Jason ripoff. The only Ranger that was good in my opinion was Noah. I think he's like a Billy 2.0, a nerdy but became confident in battles. Much like Mighty Morphin Season 1 and 2 and 3, Billy was a nerd but became cool and confident in later 2 seasons. Noah is all around, but I still like his character because he only had 2 focus episodes from Season 1 to Season 2. But the biggest joke was the finale, the legendary battle. I don't know why people still defend this piece of trash, but let's just say that I'm not a fan of it. I watched the finale. I couldn't believe what I saw. I wanted to vomit out of my mouth because all it was just the foot soldiers, them fighting the Rangers, and the season was a joke. How can anybody sit there and say that this season was amazing? What is so special about the Neo Saban era? Please explain to me in the comments below. What is so special about Megaforce, Samurai? All of that is pure garbage. It really is. I heard that Chip Lane wanted to do a season, but he turned it down because of some problems that Saban and the production team were doing. So, Dino Charge came out in 2015, which was the good year of Power Rangers because I loved Dino Charge Season 1 because the characters felt real and the writing was really strong within the first episode. And Tyler was my favorite Ranger in Season 1. But I can agree with some people were talking about that the season was focusing on too much on Tyler finding his missing father, finding the golden energy, golden Dino Charger, and the Gold Ranger arc started. Shelby was my favorite character too. I like her. I think Riley was the afterthought in Dino Charge. Nothing about Riley was, I don't know, I think the writers had a few missed opportunities on Riley's character. And I'm starting to think maybe, just maybe, you know, they shouldn't cast in Michael Tapper because I could tell when he posted a tweet a few years ago while drunk that he regretted doing Dino Charge because one, I could tell that the writers didn't really did anything with Riley's character. They're focusing on other characters, but Riley was, like I said, he was the afterthought. Miss Morgan, I'm still not a fan of her. Well, you have my reasons though, but I mean, that's just my opinion. The season finale, Season 1 finale was okay. It wasn't the best, but it did have some good moments. Kendall becoming a Ranger, Tyler fighting Fury for like, what, 5 seconds, but it could have been a bit longer, was what I was trying to say. But like I said, Dino Charge Season 1 was good. Not great. It did have its flaws. Season 2 was not good at all. Every episode was a bit confusing. The plot was confusing. Including the finale was a mess. Time traveling, you know, I just don't get it. Until we get to the biggest butt of the season. Ninja Steel. Oh boy, where do I begin? Everything about this season was trash! Trash! The reason why Ninja Steel was trash because I feel like this season became comedy rather than serious and like most PR seasons are. But I feel like everything about this season was a joke. Brody's actor sucked. The plot sucked. I mean, Haley and Calvin are like my least favorite couple in Power Rangers. I guess you could say the first interracial couple, but I don't care. Love has no color. But the bottom line is the Ninja Steel was the biggest butt joke of the season. Chip Lane has let us down in this season because the first episode was exactly like Powers from the Past from Dino Charge Season 1. They couldn't even come up with anything original, something different. And the second episode was exactly like Dino Charge. The whole season was garbage. Again, how can anybody defend this garbage? I get it's a kid's show. Do not sit there and tell me that just because it's a kid's show, we're not supposed to complain about it. We're supposed to let the kids enjoy it. They can enjoy it. But at the same time, you don't need to treat kids like idiots. They're gonna know what's gonna happen on the show. It's called Show Do Not Tell. For real. Hold on. Yeah, I think what I'm trying to say is that, sorry if I did a little rant there, but I just feel like the whole New Saban era was garbage. But season 2 of Super Ninja Steel was a complete disaster from beginning to end. Brody still sucks. Every episode was complete filler. And there are times when I couldn't even watch the show, and I'm glad I didn't. Cause everything, I feel like the whole New Saban era is trying to be like Mighty Morphin, but just cannot be straight original. And it's quite obvious to me that the creators and the writers can't even be original. So, but the only thing I did right, but not perfect at the same time because it was rushed. I wish it could have been like an hour. Dimensions in Danger. That was how you supposed to do an anniversary episode. Returning the Rangers having more lines, more story. But I feel like this whole thing was focusing on Tommy once again. Much like how Legendary Battle was in, Dimensions in Danger was basically the same thing. Well, first of all, Tommy, he was on his way home. He was going to take his son to a dojo, and then, Lord Draven pretty much kidnapped Tommy and the rest of the Rangers, creating evil robot clones of themselves. But I did like the fight with the fake Tommy, but it could have been longer. The extended version of the fight is on YouTube. Tommy morphs into Donald Thunder Black, failed, morphs into Zeo, he did good. Mighty Morphin White, he did good, and then the Green, he did good. He did some moves, but he finished off with some slashes, whatever though. But I think the highlight of the episode was the Falcon Zord. It just came out of nowhere, and that basically tells you that, yeah, they're basically milking Tommy all over this episode. Because I get it's the 25th anniversary of the Power Rangers, but you don't need to make Tommy the biggest focus of the episode. It's supposed to be the whole team, not just one character. And I feel like the fan base nowadays is so busy relying on Tommy. Tommy this, Tommy that. It doesn't have to be a Tommy show all the time. It needs to be about the whole team. When you're celebrating a 25th anniversary special, or doing any team up special, whichever anniversary special you're doing, you need to focus on the whole team, not just one character. So even though the New Saban era is over, but I feel like the damage has been done because the last 8 years has been nothing but a joke of the franchise. I mean, the butt of the franchise. I really don't understand why they felt the need to, just trying to make everything about Mighty Morphin, trying to make it be like Mighty Morphin, and it's quite obvious to me that they're unwilling to come up with anything original whatsoever. So that's probably the biggest gripe I have since coming to Nickelodeon. So now that Hasbro is finally taking over the Power Rangers franchise, I'm looking forward to Beast Morphers. And I've seen some clips with them filming in New Zealand. They're still doing them. It's Morphin Time, Morphin Call, and yes, they're still doing the 22 episode policy once again until 2021. I'd be so glad when they take it off Nickelodeon, because Nickelodeon has been killing our franchise, and I think the fans like us deserve better. So tell me what you all think in the comment section below. Do you hate the New Saban era? Are you gonna miss the New Saban era? Because I'm not. I think it's a joke of the Power Rangers, one of the worst eras of the Power Rangers franchise since Samurai. And like I said, I feel bad for the actors who had this job and then you give them some terrible acting lines. I think they deserve better. So, but like I said, the actors deserve better. I really think that Power Rangers can be approved again if, Hasbro steps up, which I know they will. But I'm going to go in Beast Morphers open-minded, like I always do. Just take a look at the episode first, and then give my opinions at the end. Because I'm not going to be doing any reactions to episode 1 like I did last year with Ninja Steel. So, because they're still going to be doing, the hiatus crap. And this whole thing's got to stop. So, yeah, that was it for my my overall thoughts / rant I have for the New Saban era. And while I'm glad it's over, now we can move on to something bigger and better things in life, and that is the Hasbro era. I cannot wait to see what's in store for our franchise now that the company has taken over, well, our franchise basically. So, and if you all enjoyed this video, subscribe, comment, and follow me on Instagram at SparkWindustryX1. And I'll see you.